afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of our MSME Masterclass. This one is special as we deep dive into a topic that affects almost every MSME working in fabrication, construction, and industrial project execution. It's structural steel and its quality essentials. To help us understand the do's and don'ts, we are joined by someone whose name carries decades of trust and technical excellence in India's civil and construction and structural engineering space. Mr. Rajeev Shrikhande, Managing Director at Shrikhande Consultants Pvt.
Hello.
Rajeev sir comes from a lineage of pioneering engineering minds. He leads a firm that began as a two-man consultancy over 60 years ago and has since evolved into one of India's most respected multidisciplinary engineering firms, offering services across structural design, project management, audits, and complex rehabilitation projects. From high-rise buildings to flyovers, from chimneys to water reservoirs, Shrikhande Consultants has seen it all. And under Rajeev sir's leadership, the company continues to deliver robust, code-compliant, and sustainable solutions for projects across India. Whether you are a fabricator sourcing structural steel or a project owner trying to ensure long-term durability, Rajeev sir's insights will help you build stronger, safer, and smarter. Let's get started. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good. How are you?
Very well, sir.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the first question.
Yes.
Let's start with the basics rather. When we say structural steel quality, in that sense, what exactly are we referring to in MSME construction projects?
Yeah. Quality is, can be sometimes misleading, Amruta. So as you rightly said, we need to be very exact. So quality of structural steel, successful quality means steel that meets the required mechanical, chemical, dimensional, and traceability standards for load-bearing use. The structure can, that is the primary, responsibility of the structure, work of the structure. Practically, it has the specified yield, tensile strength, ductility, consistent chemistry, that is low harmful impurities, correct meal or heat, identification, which is traceability again I am saying, acceptable surface condition, which is free of any impurities, or minimize I would say, and comes with a verification documents like, mill testing certificates, test report, BIS or ISO conformity certificate wherever applicable. So that is the basis of what I am saying, quality. And again, it is a given quality. You must understand, we must understand every work specifies that. There is a specification. So it has to conform to that those specifications. That is the primary meaning of quality.
Also, sir, what are the key parameters that define the quality of structural steel, like yield strength, ductility, or surface finish, like you were mentioning in my earlier?
So, like I little repeat it. What is yield and tensile strength, really speaking, because we need to little elaborate that. Capacity to carry loads without permanent deformation. That is yield strength and tensile strength. All right. Second is ductility, elongation and reduction of area. So, ability to deform before fracture. Important for seismic and impact engineering, right? Toughness and impact value for cold regions or dynamic loads. Let us understand that. Chemical composition affects strength, weldability, and brittleness. Very critical in steel, right? Surface finish and straightness. Again, I said that, which influences fabrication, coating, and corrosion risk. It has got that. Dimensional tolerances, section, sizes, thickness, right? They are very important. So, fit and structural calculations depend on this. Please understand that. So that is very important. And of course, I said before, traceability is very critical. So heat and lot number, mill testing certificates. So you can link batch to test and mill. So you are sure that it belongs to that batch, which is very critical because that has got already testing is done for that batch. You understand that, So these are the basic, little elaborated, but these are the basic things which we when we say quality is like that. It's a basic parameters of a quality that define quality.
So how can a small fabricator or a contractor verify if the steel they've sourced meets these quality norms?
Yeah, again, there are some basic things you can do. One is ask for mill test certificate, which is so you can link batch to again at that head and mill, right? So that is very first. That is very critical because the certificate conformity is required for each batch. So that is a mill test certificate, right? Secondly, to verify heat, that is lot numbers on material tags, that should match with mill testing certificate. You understand that everything has got that. Then verify, perform simple site checks, Amruta. Verify dimensions, straightness, surface defect if there are any, note that if there are any, stamping is done properly or not, do that, all right? Then use a handhold testing service, kind of, apparatus, I would say, like a portable spectrometer or hardness checks via service provider if it available, so that you will again have this basic conformity things verified, all right? Then keep one lab test per one lot and heat. One lab test, that is critical. And track supplier reputation, which is very critical. Delivery consistency and request supplier references also before you order. That is better. So you will have these credentials with you. You can check with other customers also. So you are assured that the quality material will be delivered to you.
Understood. So according to you, can you tell our attendees what are some of the common mistakes that MSMEs make when sourcing or inspecting structural steel?
Well, not MSME, everybody does that. Buying only on price, ignoring documentation and traceability. That we Indians particularly are very much impacted by price. So we only look for price, which can be very dangerous. Then accepting large deliveries without checking this mill testing certificates or heat numbers on site. That can happen. Not sampling and testing material. That is one more thing that again quality can be impacted. Poor storage and handling causing rust and damage. That became afterwards it became a supplier issue. It is really not. You understand that, all right? Failing to check for weldability requirements like high carbon content and mixing different heats grades in the same structural member or job without any proper records. These are the common mistakes. It can happen at site, especially when this MSME. You understand that. So we need that kind of infrastructure to take care of these things.
Got it. Sir, in BIS certification, do you think that's sufficient, or should MSMEs go beyond it when checking the quality of steel?
I think BIS, that is, for example, IS 2062 for structural steel is a baseline thing, important, but that is never enough. It is not even sufficient by itself. BI means the mill follows the standard. All right, it means that it has got a standard parameter and is following that. But you still need the mill testing certificates and batch traceability. All right, and for critical works like lifting frames, heavy columns, seismic regions, go beyond BIS 100%. Check specific mechanical, chemical values, do sample lab tests, and confirm weldability ratings. In short, Amruta, BIS is equal to good start, but traceability plus sampling equal to must. You understand that? Yeah.
So, like you rightly said in your earlier response, that a lot of buyers still, put a lot of importance, give a lot of importance to price. According to you, how risky is it to ignore quality just to save cost upfront?
It is very risky. I will just enumerate a few things for us to understand why it is risky. First is safety risk. All right, collapse, brittle failure, that thing can happen. That will also, it can cause rework and delays, like failed welds, poor fit, straightening. You understand that? Higher life cycle cost, corrosion, early replacement also. You understand that? And finally, what happens ultimately? Reputation gets a hit. There's a legal risk also, claims, consultant rejection, liability. Saving small percentage on purchase can cost many times more. So that is something one should avoid at all cost.
And so, what are some easy to spot visual indicators of poor quality steel that even a site supervisor can look for?
Yeah, it is. There are a few things one can notice: a deep pitting rust, flaking, lots of mill scale and uneven corrosion. That is the first indication. Then bends, kinks, severe camber or twist in sections. That can be another. Visible cracks, laminations, seams or longitudinal defects. Then inconsistent section dimensions across pieces from the same delivery. All right. And missing or illegible heat, coil, plate numbers or tags. Excessive paint, that is very critical with these things. Many of us, we miss that. Excessive paint, oil, hiding defects. You understand that? Whitewashing, what we call, not literally that, but same here, right? Ask for clean samples. And also, finally, I think, Amruta, we must train supervisors so that they can do these visual checks properly, and they can immediately at site itself, if the lots are, they have this kind of defects, you can reject that. So you need to train people also. And this training is not really rocket science, you understand that, This can be done by any person with, one who wants to learn, as simple as that.
Now, so let's talk about tests that a person or an MSME can do. According to you, what is the absolutely essential, test to get the steel tested at a lab?
Okay, I think we also always said that first delivery from a new mill or a stockyard, then it must be sent for testing. High value and any critical members from safety considerations like columns, main beams, crane girders must. All right. Suspicion from visual inspection, right? Like we discussed just now, right? If there's some issue about that, there is some corrosion, things are not proper, and we get suspicious, then, or there are some mill test discrepancies are there in mill test certificates. You notice some discrepancies, then it is a must. And I think for proper project control, periodic verification is a must. Like first 1-2 lots and then random depending on the consumption. Then you can fix the periodicity of that. So I think that is the main. And which test you are asking? So chemical analysis is very critical. Tensile test, yield and ultimate strain elongation. Then bend test, like ductility, fabrication assurances. Impact test, right? Where toughness is important. Hardness test, if relevant for, wear parts. You understand that? And spectra analysis for quick chemistry checks. These are some of the, I think, essential tests one should do.
And sir, can you also explain to our attendees how mill test certificates, which is also called MTC, or heat numbers can help trace back steel quality to the manufacturer?
See, heat number or batch or coil or lot number, I would say, links every physical bar, coil plate to the mill production records and specific test. One thing, right? A mill test certificate contains chemistry, mechanical test result, standard referred to, right? IS 2062 is normal, and signature. by matching the heat number on the mill testing certificate to the stamp on the steel, you prove that the delivered material corresponds to that tested batch. All right. Essential for claims, audits, and consult approvals, and also for documentation. That you are proved that you are using the tested material, which assures you of quality.
Got it. Yes. So my next question to you is, how can incorrect welding or cutting techniques compromise even the best quality steel?
Yeah, that can happen. I mean, one is overheating, too high heat input, right? Raises hardness and cause called brittleness or reduced toughness, which is very dangerous for any structural stability. Incorrected preheat and post-heat leads to cold cracking. You understand? Of course, wherever needed, I understand that. Please understand that. That is always given. Excessive gouging, blow-through or slag inclusions reduce cross-sections and create stress risers. That is one more thing is there, right? And I think finally, one would say that improper consumables, right? Wrong filler material or wrong filler metal produce poor weld chemistry and weaker joints. Contamination, oil, rust, paint causes defects. All right. Welds that look good may be weak. Result structural weakness and premature failures, even if base steel is good.
Okay. Now we come to precautions. Can you tell our attendees what precautions should be taken during transportation and storage to avoid compromising on the steel quality on the site?
Yes, that is a very good question. While transporting, avoid dropping, bending or bundling damage. Secure bundles. Use protective dunnage. You understand that, okay? Storage. Keep off the ground on timber blocks, right? Cover to prevent rain, but allow ventilation. Don't trap moisture. Second point, right? Segregate by heat grade and keep mill testing certificates and tags with the bundles. Attach them. Rotate stock. First in, first out. And inspect on delivery. And of course, critical that inspection critical before fabrication. And in coastal and chemical environment, use tarpaulins and consider temporary rust inhibitors. These are, some basic, precaution one must take while transportation and storing exercises.
Got it. Sir, also help us understand how important is surface treatment or rust prevention in structural steel, especially for projects that are exposed to moisture or chemicals?
Yeah, they are very crucial, very important, crucial for durability, particularly in humid, coastal and chemical exposures. For structural members, right? Clean primer coat, rich, zinc, rich epoxy primer, then top coat as per design. That is very critical. For elements embedded in concrete, ensure appropriate coating or consider corrosion resistant grade and proper concrete cover. All right. Untreated rust reduces section and accelerates degradation. Painting also aids inspection and prevents weld contamination. So these are some, basic surface treatment, rust prevention, things which are so important and why they are important.
Got it. Sir, are there any different quality considerations for steel used in columns and beams versus purlins, joists or braces?
Yeah, there is a difference, but I must clarify one thing, Amruta, before that. Quality is of primary importance, so one must conform to the quality. How to ensure quality? There is some difference between these sections. You understand that. Quality remains the basic consideration. It is only we are talking about how to ensure quality. So there is some difference between these two that I will try to explain. For primary members like columns and main build, stricter on strength, ductility, traceability, full mill testing certificates, and lab testing. You understand? Stricter, I'm saying, already. For secondary members like purlins, non-structural presses, right? Acceptable to have lower sampling intensity, right? But still, as we said, still we require grade confirmation and reasonable traceability. You understand that? I'm just saying, the how to ensure quality, there is some difference. Otherwise, quality remains what it is, right? And for connection and joints, bolts, welds, and plates at joint which often control structural behavior, inspect and ensure correct specification, bolt grade, weld grade, preheat. In short, higher criticality and stricter checks. So for three elements, this is what we do to ensure quality.
And so for MSMEs working on warehouses or industrial sheds, how can they ensure steel quality is consistent across multiple deliveries?
I think what you should do first is issue a purchase specification with grade, tolerance, testing, a mill testing certificate, and packing traceability requirements. You have to float an inquiry, right, first. So you should include this. Then you must require again heat numbers on tags and for mill test certificate for every delivery. Use incoming inspection checklist and quarantine suspect lots. We are so you are suspicious about that. Maintain random sampling and testing plan. First delivery and plus periodic sampling, as I say, as per quantity of consumption. Then negotiate acceptance procedure in purchase order, which is very important, right? What happens if the tests fail? You understand that, this for these kind of things. Then, if you are using a stockyard or service centers, require supplier declaration and right to audit. That is very critical. So these are some things which you need to do.
So also tell us, does the same quality standard apply for primary and secondary structural members, or should MSMEs evaluate them differently altogether?
They are not identical, right? I say the same basic quality standard applies. No counterfeit, unsafe materials, but accepting sampling intensity and testing rigor can be lower for secondary members, which we said just now. The quality remains the same. How to ensure there is a difference between primary and secondary members? How you ensure quality? There is a lesser and less strict inspection periodicity for secondary members. That's it, nothing else. Critical primary members need full documentation and stricter acceptance criteria, which we already stated, not once, but I think couple of times. That is very critical. That's why we focused it again and again.
Sir, also just for the sake of our MSMEs, how can MSMEs ensure traceability when they source from stockyards, service centers, or third-party resellers?
Yeah, I think as I said, again, we come back to the same thing. Like, first is a mill testing certificate, most critical, from mill for each heat and each lot. Again, same thing. Ask for verified stamping or tagging on each piece that matches the mill testing certificate. Again, it is a correlation between the material and the documentation. You understand that, all right? Then again, use purchase order clause that requires supplier warranty of traceability and allows random lab verification. You understand again, which is very critical. If supplier cannot produce a mill testing certificate, treat it as a high risk. You understand that? Because either reject or insist on testing the complete lot and discontinue and discount any risk share. So again, I think the basic things remain the same, but one has to be very vigilant. That is the whole point.
Okay. So what should MSMEs ask their suppliers or manufacturers to ensure compliance with the QCOs or updated IS codes?
Yeah, I think as we say again, grade and standard. For example, IS 2062, grade A, B or C, etc. referenced. Again, mill testing certificate, each lot with heat number and signature, very critical. Test reports of tensile and chemical or a certificate of conformity. Packing and tagging details, heat number visible. Weldability and recommended preheat, if applicable, I am saying, and delivery inspection and registration clause, who bears cost if it is failed. And again, lead time and storage conditions. One has to be vigilant about that.
And according to you, sir, do you think having documented quality protocols can help MSMEs win larger contracts or approvals from consultants?
Absolutely. No doubt about that. 100%. A written quality control plan, what we call QCP, which checks sampling plan, traceability and acceptance criteria, speeds consultant approval, reduces dispute, and shows professionalism. You understand that? You have to be professional finally, right? Then helps in audits and faster site handovers. Makes claims defensible. You followed a documented process. It's like as you understand that. So that is very critical. So that is absolutely yes, I think.
And so how can quality tracking improve not just compliance but also project efficiency and long-term trust with clients?
Yeah, I think we already talked about that. It is fewer rework and fewer delays, which lowers cost and faster delivery. It happens. Clear records reduce disputes and again they speed approvals. Demonstrable quality builds client confidence. You understand that, and repeat business is there. Because when the client confidence is there, you get repeat business, right? And the data helps identify supplier issues early and you can counter them and negotiate better terms. So it is win-win for all.
And so finally, what would be your advice to a small fabricator who wants to build a quality first reputation in the steel space?
Yeah, I think, more than advice, I would like to share what I feel about that. I think advice you should get from, a very hard personal. We are all professionals. We all work together. So I would like to give, share my thoughts with it. First is start with a simple, a QCP, as I said that, and checklist and prepare a checklist for incoming steel, welding and finish assemblies. Make a checklist. See, in India, what happens, I think, Amruta, which is my, everybody will agree with me, our documentation is very less. We are not less talented, we are very talented. But we need to show that we are talented. You understand that we follow a proper procedure. Our documentation is very weak. So that's where we, I think, take a beating. If you look at the world market, that's where we lack a little bit. So we have to focus on that. All right. And right from the single manufacturer to, large companies, I think that's what everybody's really is in that. That's what I'm saying, right? So I think and always insist on mill test certificates, all right, and heat numbers, and from suppliers, and keep them organized, by job, by project. You understand that in a very identifiable fashion. Do first, article testing, like for each new supplier and grade. You understand that you are taking material from new supplier or you are getting a new grade of material. Do testing 100%. Never, no shortcuts here, please. Yeah, and most importantly, train welders, train supervisors on key checks and welding procedures. Keep welding procedure specifications in hand, in a proper fashion, but they should be enforced. And how do you know they are enforced? By documentation again. You understand that, all right? Keep a small sample test budget. When you're quoting, that is almost critical. A few tests per month protects you from huge failures. You understand that, all right? And communicate quality to client that we are producing this and this is our, this is documentation. This is our proof. You understand that? Of course, you are not guilty. But you are saying that we are doing all these quality things, and that you can only show by showing the documentation. All right, and also when you communicate quality to clients, you explain to them long-term savings, because in pricing many of us are short-sighted, so we need to give them a long-term perspective. Understand that. And again, finally, do a complete closing report on every project, all things documented, the whole how the project went, and also how the quality was maintained. Make a complete documented report of how you have achieved quality and how you have maintained that, how you deliver the project to the client by proper closing report. I think should help everybody. It creates a credential, it creates records. You also know where you went wrong. It is a learning process, right? And you go better from there.
That brings us to the end of today's masterclass session. So thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your insights on structural steel quality essentials with our attendees. Thank you.
Thank you, Amruta. Thank you so much for having me. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
For our MSMEs who are online, if you'd like to view the current episode, if you've missed any part of the current episode, please go on YouTube, type GSW1 MSME, and you'll find all the episodes uploaded there. Thank you once again, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.